Hi, in this tutorial we're going to cover Adobe Lightroom. So let me go ahead and launch that by clicking on my Adobe Lightroom icon. And what happens is Lightroom opens to the last catalog that I was working on. So previously, before quitting the software, I was working on this catalog, and that's what opens when I basically go back to the software and open it. Now, this means that there's no such thing in Lightroom as files, saving files. Maybe we're accustomed to doing that with Illustrator, Photoshop, other software we use. But the concept of Lightroom is that whenever we launch the software, it opens to the last catalog that I was working on, that you were working on. So in this case, I have this one catalog that I've been working on for several years actually. And what happens is that the minute you start Lightroom for the first time, this catalog gets created for you directly within your Pictures folder if you're using a Mac. Now, the Pictures folder is, just look at the path. Here it says admin, so where you have your applications, downloads, admin, and so forth. Inside of admin, there's a list of other folders. One of them is called pictures, and that's where everything related to pictures in a Mac go. For example, the iPhoto library, which is not part of our class, but just so you know that all picture related things go within this folder, Lightroom, the photo booth library, and so forth. If you're using a PC, this pictures folder is probably called My Pictures, if I'm not mistaken. You have to find out, it's basically the default location for pictures and images on a computer. So what we were saying is that I launch Lightroom, and then this folder called Lightroom gets created inside the Pictures folder automatically. And the Lightroom folder contains that catalog that I have. So all my work exists in this catalog. As you can see, I don't have other files. This is the only file I have. It's not like I have other catalogs. You could, but you don't need to. So you can either launch your Lightroom from here or just by going to Overflow and launching the software from here. Now, as I said earlier, Lightroom opens on the last catalog that I was working on. And I was working on this catalog before quitting Lightroom earlier. In your case, you probably don't have any pictures yet because you haven't imported pictures yet. But that's okay because we will cover importing. You see the import button here. We'll cover that in a later tutorial. So let me just show you what the interface is about and how it's organized so that we get accustomed to how the Lightroom interface works. The first thing I want to show you is the menu. So the menu on top actually is called modules. We're currently on the library module because, as you can see, it's highlighted in white. And then we'll cover the develop module. We'll look at slideshow module, print, web, and so forth. So actually the menu or modules, there are 5 modules located at the top right corner of the interface. On the right side is basically information about the photographs, while on the left side is how things are organized. So remember that always. The left side is for organizing the pictures and the right side is information about the pictures. So for example, if I take this picture, I can find, its tonal values. The histogram basically talks about the distribution of tonal values of a picture. I can see if it has a particular keyword. In this case, it doesn't. Otherwise, it shows right here where it says keyword tags. I can look at its metadata, basically the file name, and then which camera it was shot with, what type of lens, and so forth. All this information is listed under metadata. So remember that the right panel is basically information about the image. And every time I click on a different image, obviously the information changes. So let's say I click on this first image, the histogram changes, the keyword sets change, the metadata, if you open that, everything will change because this image is different from this other one. It has a different name. It was shot by a different camera perhaps, and so forth. So whatever you need to know about an image, you just click on and you see the information changing on the right side. The left side is for organization. So let me go ahead and start with Navigator, which basically shows us, a bigger preview of the image we're on. Let me close that. And then under catalog, we have three sections. So we have all photographs. If I click on that, look at the number on the right side. It says 232, which means I have in total 232 pictures imported into Lightroom. So let me click on that. You will see that I have so many pictures, you can have more, as many as you want. And then in quick collections, that's something else I will cover later. It's basically a location where it's a temporary location where you want to put certain images because you want to work at them later. So it's just a temporary place, a storage place, if you will, that you would want to come back and edit later. And previous imports, which is the last thing that has been imported into the software. Folders are basically the folders that have been imported. And where do these folders come from? That's the big question. Again, we'll cover this once we import, but they basically are all residing again in this pictures folder. So in the pictures folder, again, which is the default location for images on a Mac, alongside the Lightroom folder, which gets created for you once you launch Lightroom, you have to go ahead and create a new folder. And I'll cover this in detail when we cover importing. And you will call that folder a particular name, probably related to your first name. And you have to think about that folder as your umbrella folder into which you organize your images within subfolders. So for example, I have this first folder that's called Lansing Orchids, the second one, Europe Sites, and so forth. So they're organized by date and then topic, and then, date and then location and then topic. And it's from this umbrella folder that we import the images, and then they come and reside under folders in the left panel of Lightroom, where organization happens. Collections contains the collections that we make within Lightroom. We have smart collections. I'll show you how to do that. And then we have regular collections, and then we have quick collections which reside here. Again, we'll cover all of this in detail. So remember that what I'm saying now is just an overview. And if I seem to be quick saying something, don't worry, because we're going to cover each of these concepts in single individual tutorials. Finally, publish services is, sometimes we wish to publish our images. I have no doubt we all do onto Facebook, Flickr, and so forth. So at the end of, basically once we're almost done with Lightroom, we will upload some of our pictures to Facebook and have fun with that.